welcome back to MD Globe Muscle here at the On the Rise Media Studio with me, your host Giles Thomas. And we're joined all the way from sunny Gloucester, where my grandparents used to live, Sara Bradley. Gloucester.
Hello. All right, how are we doing?
I'm doing really well, Sarah. Firstly, I would like a compliment on my new suit.
It is very nice. I'm going to give you that.
Thank you. She likes that. Sarah, it's the first time I've had you on Globe Muscle.
Mm-hmm.
You've just made your pro debut. I followed your career right from when you turned pro. It was 2018, wasn't it? Now.
So I competed obviously the first year, and then I turned pro last year.
Oh God, because I remember when you came on the scene, I was like, wow, this girl is awesome.
Yeah, no, it's been, I mean, we did the interview like a while ago, didn't we? And then we moved on and you kind of followed my journey since 2018, but it's been absolutely manic. Like, it's been such a crazy journey so far. But I've absolutely loved every moment of it, to be honest.
To be honest, you're one of the only, I think, if I was to name 10 like social media accounts of like athletes I actually follow and actually like their content, yours is actually one of them.
Oh, legend. I do try.
No, because what it is, you're very, you speak a lot. You speak very directly to the camera. You conduct yourself very well. You talk about a lot of kind of quite sort of serious subjects with a lot of honesty and kind of transparency. And you can, things you've been through. And I think that's something, I think Dan Solomon spoke about that recently. And he said, look, it's not just about how you look. Let's get to know you. Use your social media accounts for something more than just here's a picture of me training arms or something. So
that's the thing. I think a lot of unfortunately social media is a lot of shadowing. So a lot of people don't really portray who they are, and I think it's really important to give people who have invested in you as an athlete, so they should deserve to know who you are as a person, instead of just I'll put up a picture and and pretend to be someone else. That's not me. Like, I'm very much right. Let's open up, let's let people in and let you know who I am as a person, because a lot of the topics that I talk about, be that PEDs for women, be that mental health, are really important to me because they're all part of my lifestyle. So if I can portray or put out something out there with a little bit of information on both of those, or something that's a little bit more like, oh, let's not talk about that, then I think it's really important that people can learn from me, and learn, especially now as I'm growing into more of a sort of serious athlete, more of a now I'm pro and stuff like that. It means I have a platform to be able to put really important topics that aren't spoken about as much out there, so people can invest themselves in me, because I can provide them with the information that they deserve to hear.
I mean, I've never heard you rant. No, because
I'm very anti-rant. I'm very like mellow. Like, if I can avoid confrontation, I'm very much that person. So like, I'll leave people to argue, and I'll just sort of sit back and provide like nice little bits of information here and there. But I'm not a huge ranter, no.
So obviously, you just made your pro debut at the Legion. Firstly, what I'd like to ask is why did you go all that way to make your pro debut when there were so many other shows closer to home?
So I decided to do it in the States primarily because, in my opinion, the States is where it is. I think I'm very, very driven in the fact that I need to be in America to progress forward. Like, I think the platform that they provide you over there is leaps and bounds far beyond what they can provide you in Europe and in the UK. And I think if you're an English girl or girl from Europe or whatever, you need to go to the States, because it shows that you're willing to go that far. It shows that you're hungry. It shows that you're willing to put yourself in a pool of athletes. I mean, Giles, these women over there in the women's physique division are so much more superior than what we get over in Europe. Like, I mean, that's no hate on anyone from Europe at all, but they've grown up in an environment where they're given the opportunity a lot more than they are over here. And I think, if I'm gonna jump straight in, I want to jump straight in the deep end. I want to see where I stand with these women, because don't get me wrong, Giles, they are the most amazing women, and they were so lovely and stuff like that. But I don't want to pro debut in Europe, because I want to go straight into the deep end. And it also shows that, in my opinion, you're a little bit more hungry for it, because you're willing to travel that far. And I want to qualify for the O, so I'm going to show you that I'm willing to travel wherever I need to get that qualification.
Yeah. I mean, you really, like, that's very rare, especially in a pro debut where you're actually chasing the competition, not trying to avoid it.
Exactly. And I think it's also stemmed from over in the UK, we don't really have WPD. It's not really, unfortunately, it's a dying thing. Like bikini and men's physique are growing really aggressively, but women's physique seems to be taking more of a back seat. So I'm kind of like, right, okay, I've only really competed against 4 or 5 really competitive women over here. I want to jump straight in. I mean, there was 21 women overall in the States. So it was really nice to be able to jump in and be like, right, okay, it's game time. Let's see where I stand with these women. So yeah, that's kind of one of the reasons I went over there as well.
So one, you really wanted to test yourself, and obviously you've got the challenge of, I mean, I'm assuming you've never traveled and competed before, because that's a huge deal, isn't it?
Yeah, that was huge. Like, I've always stayed in the UK. I haven't even gone, even in my amateur days, I would never go to Europe. I would stay very much in, because I'm a home girl. I'm a massive home girl. So like, I like my gyms here. I like my routine here. So going out to the States where I was also 8 hours behind. So like, yeah, it was kind of a massive change up. But I had my other half and my best friend there. So they were kind of like my PAs for the week. They would just sort me out with whatever I needed and things like that. So I had a great circle around me, but it was a massive like change, because obviously the lifestyle in the States is so different, so you've got to adjust to that. And then obviously, but it was all part of the journey, all part of the adventure, and I loved every minute of it, to be honest. It was amazing. Did it
meet your expectations, the whole traveling abroad and competing abroad?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it actually like blew it out the water. Like, wow. It was just amazing. And the people, like, Americans are so hospitable. Like, I didn't meet one nasty person out there. They were all so lovely. And like, you know, I went to the gym and they're like, oh, what do you need? Do you need anything? Like, they were just so kind. And it completely, like, I wasn't expecting that, to be honest, because obviously us Brits are very reserved. So it's kind of like, you know, going into a gym where everyone's like willing to hug you and stuff. And you're like, oh God, okay. Like, but it was really lovely. Like, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it's nuts.
Well, I mean, Kamal said this. He said, when I go to America, he said, I feel like a completely different sort of energy from when I'm back home. He said, I feel that there's more appreciation for bodybuilding. There's more appreciation for people kind of wanting to get ahead and succeed. And, you know, and whereas in the UK, especially being a female bodybuilder as well, because you know that it's trickier, isn't it? It's not as accepted. Certainly not. I mean, certainly not in the UK anyway. I don't know how you feel about that.
No, I completely agree. That's one thing why people have said, like, look, like, why do you want to be over in the States? And I said, it's because there's a platform for bodybuilding. Like, they absolutely love freaks over there. Like, no matter what kind of category you're in, they'll always provide you with the opportunities to develop as an athlete. And over here in the UK, it's not where it needs to be. And like I said, Giles, in fact, it's actually going backwards with the bigger categories. And I think that's not the way it should be, because women's physique is a beautiful category. Granted, it's not a look that everyone wants to achieve, especially like younger women, but I think it should be still driven and we should still be given the opportunities to develop in our categories. But because it's not being pushed, it's kind of just being pushed to the shadows. I think, you know, it's something that needs to change. And that's another reason why I think we should get a leaf out of the Americans book and try and bring it over here and try and develop it as a category. But that's, you know, the American way is just so much more beneficial to this kind of category, because they are giving us the opportunity, like over here. And I think even in Europe, you wouldn't find a class of 21 women's physique girls. That's just not going to happen. I mean, at most maybe 12, maybe 15, but you know, I think it is, like I said, it is just so much more welcomed. And like I said, when I walked into the gym, like, oh, what do you need? Like, do you need anything? And like, you know, they were saying how amazing everything was, how amazing I looked, like, and you would just not get that over in England, because they think, oh, you know, a bigger woman, she's obviously taking trend. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just it's just not, instead of being like, oh, actually, you know, she looks really cool, I want to aspire to be like her. Like, they're like, bigger girls, like, nah, we'll just leave them. Do you know what I mean?
Obviously you're accepted in your own gym and everyone's probably really positive and knows you well, but is that why you train completely covered up? Because I've never seen you. You've always got like your hoodie, and then you can base it. I mean, I'd have to sort of check to see who it was, you know, because your little face is in the hoodie. Is that why, or is that just I don't know. Tell me why.
I think it's kind of just stemmed from, I like to keep people guessing, a bit like Dorian Yates. Like, I'm a bit of a shadow. Like, it was a lot of the time, obviously, in my previous, on this prep just gone, I like to keep people being like, oh, what's Sara Bradley doing? Like, is she looking good? Is she like, what's her kind of game plan? And I just like to keep people guessing. And that's really why I only do it. And I like to stem from, so I'm not one to stay within the crowd. And obviously, this is no offense to girls that wear booty shorts and crop tops in the gym, but that's just not me. Like,
hey, Sarah, that's me. I wear booty shorts.
I knew it. Yeah, so I like to kind of I like to be the complete opposite and stay covered up and I think it also helps me to focus. Like, sounds really sad, but if I'm not in clothes, like if I'm not fully clothed, then I see all my imperfections. Like, and that's really like, that's just a typical athlete's mindset. I see, I need to bring this up, and it completely takes that away from me. So if I can stay covered up, I know, right, okay, focus in, this is my time to develop and improve overall, then it just helps me just focus on and get to where I need to be. That's kind of one of the reasons why I like to stay covered up. Yeah.
It reminds me a bit of Sean Clarita, because he's always got the same. He's like the hoodie up, he's got the thick hoodie, the thick baggies, and his belt, and he's and he's like yourself, he's just training like a complete maniac.
Yeah. No, it's one thing that I live for, is just hood up, get in the gym, like smash it out for an hour, and then that's another step closer to being that athlete that I aspire to be, and the athlete that I think's ready to go to the Olympia. And that's so, yeah, I just think it's different. Like I said, you don't really see many women like bunged up with like trousers and hoodies up. So yeah, but it just keeps people guessing, doesn't it?
Plus, I've been to Gloucester; it's pretty cold.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, obviously you did really well on your pro debut. Were you happy with the result?
Yeah, like I mean, obviously we wanted to win. I mean, well, let's like take it straight back. Like, we didn't really know what to expect. Firstly, me and my coach Tom at Evolution Training, like we kind of just were like, okay, let's just see how we get on, see how we stand up. And obviously, I ended up being top 2, so it was kind of like a bit of a shock. And obviously, I was backstage, and we were getting run through the rounds of posing and stuff like that. And I thought, actually, I might have this, like, because I was there and I was like, oh, I think, we weren't expecting this, but it's going way better than we thought it was. And I did want to win. Like, I actually had that little inkling that, I actually might be first place here. So I was a little bit gutted, granted, because I was so sure of that outcome. But to place second in my pro debut against 21 other women, I think there was a couple of Olympians in there as well.
Yep.
And is unbelievable. Like, it's taken me a while to be able to admit to that, and it is still like a little bit of a sensitive subject, just because I wasn't really expecting that outcome at all. But coming to terms with that, I should be really, really proud of where I've come. Like, and I know personally that wasn't my best physique, because we had a few issues with prep this time round, and I know that's probably my 85%. So
wow.
I know
Oh shit.
Yeah, a lot of people have said, like, oh, if that's your 85%, then what the hell? And I think, if I was at my 100%, I know I probably would have grasped the win there. But we just got to take a step back now. It's off season for me now, so I know exactly where I need to improve on. I'm still waiting on a bit of feedback from Sandy, but that'll come. And then we'll just go into next year when the calendar comes out and know exactly what we need to do, how we need to improve, and where we need to go from.
You're kind of like a female Dorian Yates. You came second in your pro debut. You went to America to do it. Mm-hmm. So, and thing is, like if you're an unknown and you're from the UK and you're flying all the way to the west coast of America, because it's like 5 hours from the west coast to the east coast, and you're going in and you're going against big lineups in a big show, and you come second place. I mean, that really tells you where you're at and how good you're at, and especially if you feel like you. I mean, when you turn pro, would you say that was 100%?
I would say that was pretty much. Well, yeah, we had a few issues with that one as well. Like, I stressed a lot prior to that. Okay. So I was a little bit watery on stage. Granted, it was still absolutely ridiculous condition.
But
yeah, like people were like, that was watery, and I was like,
oh my god. Jeez.
But I would say that was closer to 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, because thing is, I think from 2017 was where I felt like, because you had like Malakan winning the Olympia in sort of like not in dry shredded conditioning. And then in 2017, even Malakan came back with shredded glutes, which she'd never, and I felt like then that was, and then female bodybuilding kind of made a comeback. And then I felt like, okay, then women's physique has really found its criteria now. It's very much about symmetry, balance, conditioning, because, I mean, I don't, in 2017, I was looking through all the pro shows in America, and I don't think any girl in the top 5 didn't have shredded glutes, and that's really hard to achieve.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it. And I think a lot of people were saying to me like, oh, why don't you go to female bodybuilding? I said, because I don't want to chase like being bigger. I want to chase that look. And obviously women's physique has come, when you think about what Dana Lynn Bailey used to look like when she won, and then women's physique now with Sarah, like the development of the look is absolutely unbelievable. So, it can only be up from here, but it's crazy. It is massively about conditioning, and it is about, that's one thing we had in our minds when we prepped for Legions was, okay, so we were shredded last year, beyond shredded. So we don't need to bring that much condition this year, but we still need to bring a pleasing look. So, boxed off glutes, that kind of thing. And I think with a little bit more time, I could have a little bit more boxed off glutes for next time round. But I think we hit the condition pretty much on the mark as to what they were looking for. But no, I agree. Women's physique is a beautiful category. It should be symmetry, condition, and size and things like that. And it's overall that V taper that I guess you want as well. But yeah, it's unbelievable how far women's physique has come, and it's only going to get better, especially in the States.
Given that female bodybuilding is now back with an absolute bang, with it being at the Olympia, you got Andrea Shaw, who's just absolutely incredible. Have you in the last couple of years, have you not maybe looked at the category and thought maybe actually this might be for me, maybe not now, maybe be in the future, or what's your feelings?
Yeah, I mean, it would be a lie if I said I hadn't thought about it, but I think I would much rather chase women's physique because it's been such an aspiration for me since I was like tiny.
Yeah.
So like it was literally Dana and Bailey who got me into this. Like,
was
I
it?
was like, yeah, like when
wow.
she won the Olympia, like I was like, I need to do that. Like that is where I need to be.
Yeah.
So like for me, I think women's physique is where I belong. It's where I find my purpose. And like being backstage with some of those incredible women, like these women, granted, I'm only like 25, and like I was standing on stage with like 45 plus women. Like I was speaking to a lady called Mary Power, and that's her name, by the way, is Mary Power. Like how unbelievable is that
Superhero name?
Yeah. And she's 51, and she was incredible. Like these women have just, they've got such vast levels of experience, and I think I belong in women's physique. It's where I feel most comfortable, and being surrounded by incredible women like that is just, I was sat backstage and I was like, yeah, this is a bit of me, do you know what I mean? Like this is where I belong.
Why do you think female bodybuilders or women's physique have such longevity? Because like you got Hella Trevino, who's second in the Olympia. She's like mid to late 40s. Irene Anderson, like well into her 50s. Remember Betty Parisa? I mean, she was still making top 10 at the Olympia when she was well into her 50s. Why? Yeah. But the guys, they get, I mean, apart from Dexter Jackson, they get to 45 and then douche.
It's a good question. I mean, I don't really, maybe it's more like, I guess we're more maybe possibly aware of like health reasons and things that because obviously there's way more risks, but there's still risks regardless whether you're male or female. But I think with females, you're more aware of like what the risks may entail if you take certain drugs, or if you're dieting a little bit for longer periods, because I think we're just more aware of what could happen. So instead of throwing all our eggs in one basket, all of a sudden we sort of drop them in over the years. That might be another reason why the longevity is there. Like for me, if I'm doing an off season, I don't, a shorter off season at that, I don't tend to run any cycles, just purely because if I've done a prep cycle for 12 weeks, 10 weeks, whatever, I don't really want to be running an off-season cycle if I've only got a small amount of time between shows. I'd much rather get my health on check, get back in line with where I need to be, and then go back into another prep. And I think that's a little bit more evident with female competitors than it is male competitors, because I think like male competitors might be like, oh, just a short time off and then we'll go back on cycle. So I like to think a lot of females are like, right, okay, I need a little bit longer off cycle, and then I can think about sort of my health markers, and then I can go back into a cycle. So that's why I think females tend to be in the sport a little bit longer.
Given that you get such good conditioning, and obviously women, having low body fat, it's for extended periods of time, it's not a good thing really. Have you ever had any sort of physical or mental issues from that?
What, from being so shredded?
Yeah, because I mean, literally, I always say, look, for people like yourself, if you're going to be shredded, make sure that it's for a shorter period of time, because you see like, I mean, I won't mention names, but I've seen some women's physique competitors and they're literally shredded all year round. And for me, it's like a red flag. I just think, no, you're gonna have problems. Yeah.
Well, like, especially after last year, like I really struggled post-show, just trying to get back into a place where I was at a healthy body fat. Like I couldn't have stayed that at all, because I was so shredded. So it was trying to get back into normal life, trying to eat normal foods, trying to embrace the fact that I needed to put weight on just for hormonal reasons. Like you can't, like you said, you can't walk around shredded like that all year round. It's not healthy, it's not right, especially as a woman. Like, so for me, it was just coming back round, trying to become a person again, because obviously I get very computed when I'm on prep. So it's trying to just drip feed daily life into post show and trying to be strong about it and trying to just come back around. I mean, post show is never easy. crazy regardless of how shredded you are. I mean, this post show has been a bit brutal just purely because obviously like a jet lag, trying to come to terms with how well I did, trying to be comfortable with how well I did as well, and then just trying to just come back into daily life. And I think, you know, it is an issue if women are having to stay, you know, shredded for long periods of time. And a lot of people would say, but, you know, that's just part of being a pro. You know, you've got to do a couple shows to stay relevant, 2, 3, 4 shows. I mean, if you look at Natalia, she's done, I mean, 4 or 5 shows this year. She's done so many shows and she's not in bad shape at the moment. But you've got to then argue, okay, are you really taking, you know, focus on your health because you're shredded for so long? I mean, granted, she's probably got a good team around her.
She's shredded all year. I mean, that Natalia is like, I mean, her conditioning, I don't know whether she just posts old pictures or something, but I'm thinking, please just put some body fat on.
Yeah.
It's impressive, though. It's impressive.
I mean, she's unbelievable. I mean, top 5 this year for sure at the Olympia, I think. But yeah, no, I think it is just, like I said, I'm sure these ladies have plenty of people around them to ensure the health markers are in line. But I think it is I think it is very important that if you know you've got 2 shows, then you that are relatively far away from each other, that you do put a slight bit of body fat on. Obviously, don't go ridiculously crazy, but it's very important to be able to be like, right, let's just bump calories up a little bit to ensure that you're not in this state of mind where you're super shredded all the time. And then when the time comes, we just drop back into it so you're ready for the show. I think that's very important.
And also, I mean, like, you know, if you're doing back-to-back shows, then you're having to stay on PEDs, you know, so to stay on gear. And it's like, you know, that's then, and then with the legs, it's like really you kind of, like, I think what you've done is quite smart, really, just doing one pro debut and then shutting it down. That's what you're doing.
Yes. Yeah, because I was going to do Romania Muscle Fest, but we decided, look, like, because my mental health got quite badly affected in this last prep just because of a few variables that were out of our control. And I in the end, I was like, look, like, my mental health needs to come first. And normally I would just smash right through it. But I think at this point in time, I was like, especially as I'm now a pro, I need to start taking things into account a little bit more, like mental health. Like, I can't be an idiot and cause myself to get injured, that kind of thing. And I said to Tom, my coach, I was like, look, I need to just step back for 5 minutes because I just need to take in everything that's just happened. And just, you know, I want to go into an off season. I want to get better, bigger. And I think it was the best decision, because obviously having a decision like that is tough, because I'm quite harsh on myself, but, you know, it was the best decision that came out of everything, was just to step back, just take in what's happened, and then know exactly where I need to go for next year, and then next year bring an even better package, which I know I can do.
Might be a blessing you got second and not the win, because then you'd have to have prepped another 10 weeks for the Olympia.
A lot of people have said that. Yeah, a lot of people. But yeah, it was an amazing experience regardless. Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, I mean, second in your pro debut, and like I said, you're going over as a complete unknown. Everything's kind of working, like you did with Dorian in 1990, the Night Champions.
Yeah.
Everyone's going, who the hell's this guy? I bet they were saying, who the hell's this Sara Bradley from UK? We don't know who she is. So it was a brave thing to do that actually did pay off.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you want to take a risk, then you might as well take a risk. But I was speaking to like Amma and I think it's like Pam something. I can't remember her surname. But even Anne was like, look, it's amazing that there's a UK girl that's just going to the States just purely because it shows that you're willing to go that far. And also it was a blessing and an honor to be able to stand in front of Olympia judges as well. Like, Sandy now knows me. I know I'm on her radar. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I want to be on those radars because I want them to be like, oh, okay. And then next year, if I get judged by Sandy again, she'll be like, wow, okay, so this is the Sara that I saw last year, but she's 10 times better. So it was awesome to be able to be able to stand in front of those judges and give them a little bit of taste of the UK, because again, like, there's not really many UK women's physique girls out there, and I you know, not active anyway. So to be able to go over there and be like, actually, we're hiding in the UK and we're actually badass. So it's quite cool to be like, okay, representing the UK, because I was very proud to represent the UK. So that's one of the reasons, again, I went over to the States.
And also doing a high profile big show like the Legion for your pro debut, that's a huge gamble. Like, you could have got, I mean, potentially, you know, you could have gone over there saying you could have got completely overlooked, or you might have been completely annihilated, but you didn't. You actually went over there and it paid off. Right? See, that's better to do that than go and win some show where it's a, you know, not as high profile, because that was a tier 3 show as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, when we picked that show, I didn't actually know it was the Legions, so I was like, oh, just, you know, I did this show.
Oh, the date.
Yeah, like I just picked the date because one, it was a good date, and two, it was like, oh, we want to go to the States. And then when I realized it was Legions, I was like, oh, okay then. And I just embrace it and go from there. But it worked out really well. So, and it was such a well-run show. Like, it was everything. Obviously it's such a difference between amateur and professional shows, and we were so well looked after. It was unbelievable. Like, I cannot, obviously Chris was the promoter for that show, and I cannot speak a bad word of him because it was so well run, and it was just so nice. And it was so nice to feel like stress free because we were just given everything we needed. We know exactly where we needed to be at the right time. The tanners were brilliant. Like, it was such a good experience. So yeah, it was brilliant.
Chris and Biana are just legends. I mean, I've interviewed them many times, and I spoke about when, you know, they're going to Russia and having to carry all the stuff with her, and you just think, my God, these people are so dedicated to what they do. I mean, they really are. I think they're really in the top 5 best promoters on the planet for bodybuilding. Yeah. I think they are. I think they are. Yeah. Tim, got Tim Gardner and people like that, and Jake and Lena and people like that, and Emilio and stuff like that. But it's that, that real sort of creme de la creme of the promoters, where you say, like, every single competitor comes home and goes, oh my God. And the thing is, you went a long way, and that's a lot of expense, for a UK athlete to travel. So you want to kind of, and it's your pro debut. Now you're coming back, you're buzzing, you've got a good placing. And aside from that, it sounds like you had a really, really positive experience.
Yeah, it was a very good experience. Like, granted, like, when I got off stage, I was a little bit gutted, but like, I had a week in the States before to kind of acclimatize and get used to everything. And then I had a lovely week after, just like soaking everything in, just having some time off. And it was like, you know what, like, that show was brilliant. I had a really lovely bikini. I had support from loads of nice people, and I really enjoyed the stage is where I belong. Like, it's where I feel most confident, it's where I feel most at home. Like, so the whole experience was so brilliant, just to be able to go on stage and just be able to, like, this is so worth it. Like, I would travel across the world to be able to stand on a stage as prestigious as that one and represent the IFBB, because I'm proud to be an IFBB pro in women's physique, because it's like I said, it's where I belong. It's my purpose. You know what I mean? So, so yeah, it was an incredible experience, and it was worth every penny that I had to spend on it. So, and I would 100% do it. Well, I'm going to be doing it again next year, just a different show. So, yeah, it was brilliant. It was so good. You look very, very polished for a rookie. Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, I'm very much a person that will absolutely dial in my posing. Like, I as a coach in the amateur scene, like, I see so many people get on stage and not practice their posing. And for me, like... Speaking my language now, speaking my language. And for me, like, I was posing 3 times a day, doing 3 lots of rounds. Like, my other half will have me doing posing rounds all the time. And I just cannot stand it when it's not polished. And granted, my routine might have been better, but the nerves always get the best of me when I do my routine. So it's kind of like, just kind of go with the flow, kind of feel how I'm feeling at the time. But posing for me is a massive part of everything. And I worked with Lisa and Mike from Gaff Gym in Wales a lot on my posing. I've known Mike since I was 14. No way, really? Yeah. 14 years. So I used to come into the shop, where a supplement shop we used to work, and annoy the hell out of him, talk about bodybuilding all day. I love that. And I worked a lot with Lisa on my posing, and we smashed out. So, I'm glad that it looked polished. I mean, that means a lot to me, because that's very important, is that, you spend so long dieting, spend all this money, and then if you get on stage and it's not looking polished, then really you've missed a bit of the slice there. I've had this argument with, I tried drum it into, apart from guys like Samson, who's incredible, like, trying to get that message through to all male pros is really, really tricky, especially because, like, I started following the sport in 1990, the posing, and not just the Mr. Olympia competitors, but the Miss Olympia competitors, like Diana Dennis and all the, the great posers back in the day. It's like, nowadays the standard of posing is just so shit. Yeah, no, I would agree. I mean, there's some outstanding posing coaches in the industry, especially in the UK and in the States and stuff like that. But I think people are not really willing to invest in their posing or in their stage presence. I don't get it. Yeah, they'll invest in like the cycles and the trunks and bikinis and stuff. But it really, is it any point investing in that kind of stuff if you're not going to invest in the part which is going to make you look good? Do you know what I mean? We're going to make a mini clip of this, because this is so important. Because, like I said, I sometimes upset guys as well when I say that to them, and they look at me like a dog does that. They don't quite. It doesn't compute. Like, well, why would I want to put effort into my pose? It's like, oh, so annoying. So, you said you've already planned your show for next year. What's that? So obviously, it's kind of very like, up in the air because we're just going to wait for the calendar. But I would love to do Texas. I really would love to do Texas. Yeah, because obviously
show.
that. Yeah, because I think it was Sarah's show, really, isn't it? It's like it's women's physique show, kind of.
Yes,
I think
she's put the money up for the.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I would absolutely love to do that, and then it's really kind of up in the air for the rest of the year. Obviously, I'd like to do well in that one, and if we get the O qual there, we'll probably cut it off for the season, then just focus on the O. But it's very much up in the air. These are just ideas that are flying around, but that's one I would pretty much like to do. Yeah.
Have you considered any European shows?
I think we want to do a Europe show next year, but we just don't know which one yet.
Right, okay.
That's one of those things. Again, it's just got to wait for the calendar to come out. But I would like to do a Europe one next year. Yeah.
Am I getting the idea that you might want to move to America one day? What's your feelings on that?
Yeah, I definitely, I think, because I was in Reno, obviously where the Legions was, and it was such a lovely area. So if someone said to me like, look, like, do you want to move up tomorrow? I'd be like, yeah. It wouldn't take a thought. Like, I absolutely loved the lifestyle, and I just loved it over there. And I think, again, like the amount of people that have said to me in the UK, you just need to be over there. Like even Leisha was like, stay over there, don't come back. Like you need to be over there. So I think it depends how things go, but I would love to be able to end up in the States. And I know my other half would as well. And I think a lot of people would be like, you need to be over there to develop. And I think that is the next step in my career is being in a country that really pushes and drives bodybuilding like the States does, just because I think it'll only develop me more as an athlete. Like yes, you can do it here in the UK and it's good to represent the UK, but I think that's the next step that I should probably start to consider as being over there more.
Thing is, you've got Wings of Strength in the area over there in Nevada. Mm-hmm. They're right, obviously there, got Jake and Alina and, who basically resurrected female bodybuilding, brought it to the Olympia, and they're, big proponents of women's physique and women's bodybuilding. But the thing is, you do actually have you seem to have a really good team behind you in the UK. You seem to have good support, which is nice to see. For any British athlete, certainly, women's physique, but like you said, which is very thin on the ground in the UK right now. So it's it's tricky, isn't it, to try and weigh up?
It is, yeah. I mean, I'm very, very lucky to have the support that I do. Like I've obviously got Tom, who's my main coach, and then I have Connor McMillan, who works out of a gym in Weston-super-Mare. He supports my training, and then I've just got snippets of like close people. I have a very small circle because I'm very much cut and dry. Like if you're not helping me develop forward, then you're out, kind of thing. Because I don't need that in my headspace. I don't need that stopping me from driving forward. And a lot of people, like I spoke to Rachel Daniels about it, and she said, look, like if you're stopping me from developing forward, then I'm going to cut you out, no matter whether you're family or friends. Then I don't need that. And I'm very much growing into that mindset, whereas if you are hindering me, then I'm not going to even have you in my life, because I don't need that. So I've had the same circle of people around me since I turned pro and before. Like I've been working with Tom for almost 7 years now, and then Connor I've been working for almost 3 years. So I'm a hugely loyal person as well. So hence why I like the whole, Flex Lewis and Neil Hill thing. Yeah. That's what I want to have with my coach, Tom. Yeah. And I think, if you're with a coach for a long time, I mean, Tom probably knows my body better than I do. So the ability of him to just look at me and be like, right, okay, we need to change this, and this, and then for it to work. I think you see too many people coach hopping nowadays in this industry. So if you can stay with a coach for a long time, then it's only going to benefit you in the long run. It's the same with Connor. Connor knows my mindset and my headspace way better than anyone else. So he knows, even if I walk into the gym one day and I'm ever so slightly off, he'll know exactly, right, okay, so this session she might not be able to do this, or we'll have to move things around. And I think that's really important, is to have those people that know you inside and out, will support you, will drive you, will listen to you, most importantly as well. Because sometimes I'll go into the gym and I'll say to Connor, I've had a really bad day, like this and this. He'll be like, okay, that's under the table now, you've got that off your chest, let's go and train, kind of thing. Good. So yeah, like I'm very, very lucky to be involved with the people that I am, because I do hugely put a large portion of my my success to those people, because without them, it is just me, and I think they add that extra part onto my success. Yeah.
Like you said, that approach worked for Neil and Flex Lewis. It worked for Dorian Yates, keeping his circle small as well, keeping his team very, very tight knit, and kind of, So is your family supportive?
Yeah, of course they are. Like obviously, like I lost my mum when I was really young, and she was really into bodybuilding. So
Oh, wow.
that was kind of one of the reasons why I think I'm into it as well. Obviously, my mental health was like quite bad when I was younger as well. So it was like, as cliche as it sounds, the gym sort of saved my life at that point in time. Like I was only like 11 or 12, but I think a lot of my bodybuilding came from her because she was really into it. And then obviously, I've got my dad and my sister, and they're both hugely supportive. I mean, my dad's quite old school, so he's quite like he doesn't really understand too much, but he 100% supports me in whatever I do. So if I say to him like, Dad, I need help with this, he'll be like, right, okay, let's sort it, let's get it done. And my sister's always been really supportive. We used to train quite a lot when I was younger, and then obviously she went off to university and stuff like that, and she's still really active and things, so she gets it a lot of the time. They couldn't come to the States just because it's the States, and my dad,
it's a long way to go.
Yeah, my dad, he's got diagnosed with myeloma, which is a bone cancer, a couple of years ago. So he has to have dialysis for his kidneys. So traveling isn't very ideal for him. But I would love to get him over there one day to try to watch me in the States. But they're very, very supportive again, and I cannot fault that at all. I'm very lucky.
Save him for the Olympia.
Yeah, exactly. That's
that's what I would do. Yeah. Just say, look, Dad, I'm so close. I'm only one step away. Literally, so just hold on till next year and come to the Olympia next year with me then. Don't come to any other shows. So, right, Sarah, one final question before I let you go.
Sure.
Who's going to win the Olympia this year and why?
Ooh. Oh, God, that's a great question. I do think Natalia is going to win.
Wow.
Just purely because she's had such a good run of shows this year. Yeah. And she's going to be in the eyes of the judges. So I've almost got pretty much all my pennies on her. But then is it Anne Murm?
Anne Murm, the French lady, yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
She's unbelievable. So yeah, I think it's going to be a very interesting show this year. I mean, I would like to think Sarah would have it in the bag, but I think she's just going to get tipped this year. I really do. And I love Sarah. I think she's an amazing ambassador for the sport, amazing for WPD. But yeah, I think she's going to have she's going to get a few people knocking on the door this year for sure. And
also with Sarah, she's another lady that does it right. You know, like she looks healthy in the off season. She looks like she's not sort of caught up in, wanting to stay in shredded condition, and she seems quite balanced. She's got a good business with her husband, and it seems like, she's putting money into, she seems to have a good, solid, like kind of down-to-earth approach, which is obviously part of her success anyway. So, but yeah, I do believe, because Anne had that car accident a few years ago, and she had her quads, she had problems with like walking with her quads and engaging, and now they look like unbelievable. The balance is there now. She's got it back like Bonac did when he had that, his dodgy leg, whatever. But it's she's I think she could be definitely a factor because she's been top 3 at the Arnold. She's won pro shows, multiple pro shows. Yeah, I mean, if you add Rachel Daniels into that as well, I think she's definitely going to be top 5 this year. And then I think it's Barbara. I can never remember her second name. Minaj. Yeah, that's it. I think she's going to be top 5 as well because she looked very good. So it would be good. It would be very good. I think good show. It'd be a good show for the all round. I mean, the open men's bodybuilding looks unreal this year. Yeah, tell me about it. So yeah, what about I just feel sorry for the judges. I'm to judge the classic. Yeah. There's going to be like 65 guys. How the hell do you judge 65 guys? I know, it's unreal. It's just going to be, I'm really excited. Really excited. Crazy. Cool. Right. Okay then, Sarah, thank you so much for coming on MD Globe Muscle. Great to finally get you on. And obviously, congratulations on a fantastic pro debut. That's a really good start to your pro career. And like you said, you're in a good, this is a good positioning, a jumping off position now to really go for it next year. Like you said, you're 25. So it's like, I like the fact that you're not, because sometimes with younger athletes, they don't think long term. I didn't in my 20s. I didn't think long term about anything. Yeah, I was just thinking, so the fact that you're actually okay, we've done the pro debut. We know what we need to do for next year. It sounds like you've actually got a plan. I think that's really, really going to benefit you. I think just overall and long term. Yeah, no, I agree. And again, I put that down to having the right people around me because, sometimes you need to just step back and then be like, right, I'm still really young in the grand scheme of things, really young in this category. So let's just take a step back. Let's focus on getting healthy and then just go from there. Because at the end of the day, like I tell a lot of people this, like the stage will always be there. Like, and if you need that extra time out, then have that extra time out and then just go back when you feel that you're ready to go back, that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm very much focused on being healthy and making sure that I have longevity in this sport for sure. And also a big shout out to Gloucester Wi-Fi because you look pin sharp on the telly. I feel like I feel like you're in the studio with me. That's why I've been really Because honestly, it's obvious why when you have good Wi-Fi, you can really connect better with someone. You can actually get a better interview because you get more immersed in it. You know, when someone's all pixelated and the sound's dropping in and out, it's a nightmare. So yeah, thank you, Gloucester Wi-Fi.
That's awesome. Yeah, for sure.
Right, Sarah, I'm gonna let you go, and I'm gonna get some lunch. And thank you so much for coming, MD Glove Muscle, and I'll speak to you very soon.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. I'm joined all the way from Hamburg, Germany, new European sensation, Enrico Hoffman.
Good morning. Or good early afternoon.
Yeah, nearly.
Hamburg.
Nearly. Well, we know it was nearly afternoon because you got stuck in traffic, didn't you?
Yes. That's often in Hamburg. That's daily bullshit. But it's like in every big town you have these problems with traffic.
Yeah. So you live in a major city then. So so you're from Germany, live in a major city. Right then, Enrico, I was so impressed with what you produced at the tsunami in France. I'll be honest, I did not. I saw your pictures on Instagram and I thought you looked great, but when you walked on stage, I was completely and utterly in shock.
Thank you very much. It's an honor for me to hear this from you. And it's also an honor for me to be in your interview. At first, thank you for this. And that was my comeback after 3 years of competition breaks. The last time I was competing in Indiana and New York in 2019, I was in the 12th class. So, and I want to step back on stage in the beginning of 21. But then we had the problems with the Corona. Yeah. So we must break down the competition diet or the prep, because we cannot travel to the USA, and we had all this travel problems. So 1 year later, I tried the next. I tried again to compete in New York, in Indiana, but it was the plan to go in the open class, and then we had also the problem with the Corona, and my boss from my last employer said, you cannot go for 3 weeks in the USA. I need you here in the sports club, because I was maintenance guy in a big sport club, premium sport club. So, and it was the time to prepare the clubs when I had normally the competitions, or when I will have the competitions. So, and he said, no, you cannot go. Yeah, and we was on a point where we have to decide what we do now. I cannot go on a competition again for the second time. Yeah, and I had a lot of plans for the future. I thought a long time about my future, about a baby. I had some private dreams and wishes, like motorcycle license for the open motorcycle class. I long years dream about to own a Harley custom bike.
Harley.
Yeah, and all this. Nice, yes, and nice. all these things I realized last year. I make a break of 9 months for realize the main dream with the baby, and also the other topics. Also a new apartment with my girl, and a new job. It was a completely change of my life, and this is all good for the future. So now I have the time and the free head to go back on stage and concentrate on competitions.
So I saw on your Instagram you competed in Prague in 2017, and I couldn't even believe that was the same guy.
Yeah. That was the show where I went pro. I can remind really good, and it was also I stood next to Michael Krizo.
Wow.
And it's correctly it's direct 5 years ago, and he made a huge progress in this time.
So have you?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so have you.
I wasn't.
My God.
I wasn't sleeping.
Yeah.
But it will be the re-battle of us too, and I'm very excited what will be happening on this next weekend.
We'll come to that shortly because I really, really am excited about this because myself and Lauren are flying out on Friday. We're doing the live stream commentary and I'll come to how I feel the Prague show will go. But I mean, instantly when you said about Krizo there, I saw the pictures he's been posting, again, like yourself, from 2017 to 2022. You can tell that's the same guy. But like I said, the picture you posted, the progress you've made, it doesn't even look, I wouldn't even guess that was the same guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the beard.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It was think about 20 kilos more.
Wow.
Of weight.
Wow.
Yeah, it was the 90 kilo class in 2017.
Yep.
I was competing up to 90, and now I was on the stage in Italy with about 105 kilos. And I think next weekend we can come with maybe max 2 kilos more.
Yeah.
But I hope with the same condition.
So hang on. So you, because I spoke to Alfred Kidiak last week, and he's got a similar story where he was like 88 kilo as a light heavyweight, and then you're both competing at 105 kilo in this show like several years later. So, I mean, I didn't realize until I saw your Instagram that you were an X212. I just thought for how thick and how big you were, I thought you'd always been an open.
No. It's about my symmetry, I think, and a little bit of genetics. I have all the time round muscles and a pretty good symmetry. But my weight was never so high like now. So
yeah.
But in the last years, when I cannot compete, I use this time to improve my size and symmetry. So and also in this time, what I said before, with this 9 months of the break, when you're working out hard in this time, good. Okay, my food rhythm was not that best in this time, because you have not these goals like when you are competing. So, but when you train hard in the natural time, then you improve also your muscles. It's not that you do not progress. You improve this muscle quality, and that's the point what the most people not realize or forget.
Yeah. So, who are you coached by?
I am coached by Max Matzen. It's a guy from near Hamburg.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a guy from my sponsor Big Zone. He's also an athlete there since a few years. And yeah, before I was with Manuel Bauer, I think it's a name, you know them.
Yes.
But yeah. And but we decide, okay, Max and me are in the same team. We can fly together on some competitions, and I thought we can do together great things. Yeah.
Yeah. No, because I thought you and Alfred were the two best peaked guys in the tsunami. I thought you both. I instantly. I mean, I did it on. I brought it up in last episode of the show, and I brought the photo up, and I said these guys. I said Alfred and Enrico. I said they look like they've been peaked perfectly for this. So were you happy with how you looked and how you placed in tsunami?
I had the fourth place. I placed it.
Were you happy with that?
I'm happy with it, yes, because it was my first show in the open class, and for me, my plan was to not about to win this show, but my plan was to stay good on stage, show me, bring my name back in the business, and make a good place. So, and I think it was a good journey for the first time in the open class, and okay, you can say a third place will be better, of course. The top 3 sounds better like the 4th place, but doesn't matter. We are happy with this result, and maybe in the future, maybe on the next shows we can do better places. I don't know. It's about what the judges want to see. Do I want to see more of mass, or do I want to see more of quality? I don't know. And it's also about the guys which coming on the stage, and it's sometimes you know, okay, these 6 or 7 guys come on the show. You see it before on the point list, and then there comes one guy from anywhere, and you think, what the fuck? Where comes this monster?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of thought that about you when I was watching the live stream, because I was like, I said, I'll be honest, you weren't on my radar. Even seeing the pic, because normally we see pictures on Instagram, we're like, wow, this guy's incredible, he's going to do great. And I saw your pictures and I was like, yeah, this guy looks good. But when you came on stage, like, it was a completely different story. I mean, we were doing the live stream, it was like a live commentary. And myself and the lady I was doing it with, I mean, we were just like, who is this guy? I said, we've got to get him on Global. And like, I literally, for me, my eyes were drawn to you and Alfred, because I just thought, my God, these are 2 new faces that are really going to be making waves. And now I honestly do think, I mean, we'll be flying out to Prague on Friday, and I kind of do see it as coming down to you and Krizo so far.
Yeah. I don't know what the show will bring, because Michael have a big lobby and a real big name in the what's the word, in the business, the bodybuilding scene. So I don't know, when he comes in his best condition, he can win. I don't know, because all want that Krizo wins the show for getting the Olympia qualification. So
yes, but you've competed as a pro, you've proved yourself, you've made a statement. He hasn't competed on a pro stage yet. You have. That's the difference.
Okay. Yeah, I can only bring my best shape, and more I cannot do. We will see. Yeah. I improved the last 2 weeks my posing routine.
Okay, good.
Because my problem in Italy was that I was not standing good in the back double biceps pose. Because when you go into the pose, you pull your not the fingers on the feet, the
toes.
Yeah, you pull the toes to bring more power on the hamstrings. Mm-hmm. So, but I do this on the beginning, not on the end when you are in the pose.
Right.
So that was the problem, that I was shaking a bit.
Yeah.
And for me, I must go slowlier into the poses, so I have more time to open and can hold these poses better. So and also the next thing was my stomach, not the stomach, my belly. I must control a bit more. But I seen we had made a video clip on Big Zone, on my sponsor's YouTube channel, from the show, and I see directly before the tanning, my belly was flat.
Yeah. And
then I eat again 100 grams of rice with a banana or with a half banana. So, and I think it was not the wrong things to eat, but it was the volume of the eat.
Okay.
What brings my belly a little bit out. So I think we will load this time with rice meal. It's better, for the belly. It's not pressing out the belly, and I can control it better. So, and I think when I fix all these problems, it could be a better. I'm missing the word.
Package.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Package sounds a little bit. Yeah. I think in the past, Ronnie Rockel said, I want to bring my best package, and all Americans was laughing about him. Because package is it's like a box from the post, or from the postal service when you get it.
Yeah.
That's the reason that I said, okay, I bring the best shape, not the best package. I don't know what we want to hear.
Firstly, going back to your back, I mean, your back shots were absolutely mind-blowing.
Okay.
Thank you. So to make sure, if you're next to Krizo, make sure you because you'll destroy him on the back shots.
Yeah, I only do my best. I make no special exercises. I train hard and heavy, and I don't know. I do only my workout. I change my workout, not the routine, but in the past, it's maybe about 2 or 3 years ago. I was training every time in a range between 8 and 12 reps.
Yep.
So to gain muscles. So, but I had to learn that I can improve more when I go up with the reps, but take a little bit less weight. So you make more improvements, and it's like volume training. So it was perfect for me. And for the future, you don't ruin your body, your muscles, your bones. That will be healthy for the future. That and for me, I said, when I'm done with the competition time anywhere, so I will not be in a rolling chair, or I don't want to be sick. So I have a child now, maybe 3 months old, a little boy.
Oh.
So I will be for him as a father. I will have time with him, and I will play with him. So the most athletes don't think about his future. We only on the focus and for the competitions, and and all these things what I do in the last year, it's directly what I think that the most people forget to think on her future. They are competing a few years. They are successful, maybe a bit, or maybe more successful. We get their pokals or medals. So and when we are done with the competition time, or with their competition time, we have nothing. The fame from them is away. Only a handful of people are stay as the followers of them, but the most people are going away, and you are alone. You have no child. You have not another hobby for the free time. So mostly are depressive.
Yeah. Well, obviously having a kid, I mean, it makes you assess your career, the future. You're maybe thinking a lot more about the next 5 years, the 10 years. You're thinking about your health. You're thinking about training smart, and not destroying your joints. And like you said, ended up in a wheelchair and stuff like that. So it's having a kid, I suppose, at the start of your open pro career is probably a good way to keep that focus on all those things that you see as important.
Sorry, I didn't have to understand this moment.
I'm just basically saying, like, having a kid, having a child, it makes you realize what is important for the future.
Yeah, correctly. This is the most important thing for the future. Family is important. Health is important. And also I'm working full-time job next my career. So but I'm very happy about my wife, because she said, this year you must go back on stage. I kick your ass. You must be successful. And I'm a little bit sad, because normally she need my help with the baby. So, but I'm not so often here to help her. I'm on the work. I'm in training. I'm cooking. I'm eating all this time. So, but she is not angry on me. She let me do my job with the competitions, and normally she was every time on every competition with me. She's a little bit sad. I want to go to Prague, because it's the 10 years jubileum, or the anniversary. So and every time Prague was such a nice show. It was a really, really good atmosphere, nice people. I feel really, really great there. And also in 2017 and 2016, I was competing the first time in Prague. It was every time wonderful.
Enrico, I went to the last time I was in Prague was when they did the first one, when Dennis Wolf won.
When Dennis Wolf won?
Yeah, he won the first year, 2012. I was there. I went to cover it for Muscular Development, and Dennis Wolf won that. And we interviewed him afterwards, and I got him drunk on vodka and Red Bull. after the show.
Okay.
Because I said you finally got your tan right. And his wife, I think, had to put something like 8 or 9 coats of Pro Tan. Because remember Dennis Wolf, he could never get the color right. And then eventually he nailed it at that show. So like I said, we were talking about Dennis Wolf briefly because you said he's from Datteln.
Yeah. This was also a problem with the tanning when you spoke about the tanning now.
Mm-hmm.
In the Tsunami show, we had a problem. All athletes get only 2 layers of color.
What?
Yes, sure. Where me and James, we was backstage. We was backstage at Proton. We get one layer. And they said, okay, wait 10 minutes. Okay, we get a second layer. Okay, wait 10 minutes. So we all waiting for the next layer because I was Snow White like a snowman. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had not the time to go to the solarium or to the oval sun. So So I asked him, what is with the third layer? No, you don't get a third layer. All get only 2 layers. I asked him why. Yeah, it's the rule here. So bullshit. It was, and they had no light in the backstage at the tanning service. It was only a little small light on the wall.
So you can't check yourself?
No, only outside a bit, but we saw it's too bright.
Yeah.
Also here, Martin, what was the name? The Brazilian guy. He was also in Italy. William Martins.
Oh, William Martins. Yeah, William Martins.
William Martins and the Arab guy. I don't know his name now.
Uh-huh.
He also said he was freaking out. We was talking with the guys from Proton. Why we don't get the next layer? I need the next layer. So I need to bright. So
hang on. I did say watching the live. I said Enrico needs more tan, because some people like James Holland said he's very, very pale. You know, guys like Dennis Wolf, guys like maybe like yourself that don't have a natural kind of dark skin color. You need more you need a lot more than 2 bloody coats of Pro Tan.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So and on the end, the reason was we forgot to plan to pick in enough color. We had not color.
Oh no, because you have to use their tanners, don't you? You have to use them. Yeah,
of course. Okay, it's not about the money, but for me it's annoying. You pay a lot of money. It's a lot of money for the tanning service.
Mm-hmm.
So and then you get only 2 layers.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Yeah.
Yeah. So
and I said in the video on Big Zone channel, it's a mess. It's not when we are too bright. It's not about we are not going to Proton and said why we are so bright. We are come to me. Yeah, your color was shit.
Yeah.
So it's every time the athletes. You need more color. It's not good. But normally it was not our problem. It was the problem of Proton. So and I don't shouting on other guys or other services, but this was a mess, really.
Okay. Well, hopefully with Prague, you say your wife's not going with you. Are you going to do some pre-coats, base coats yourself, or get somebody to do it in Prague?
Maybe a friend of mine is coming with me because my coach is on the Dennis James Classic with a lot of athletes.
Oh, okay.
And I am with a friend in Prague, but I spoke with Patrick, with the promoter of Prague,
mm-hmm.
and I asked him about this thing, and he said also in Tsunami show it was catastrophe with the tanning, and he said don't worry, in Prague it will be all okay.
Good.
It will be a good tanning service.
I don't want to rub it in, but maybe that cost you 3rd place in France. Maybe you could have been 3rd if your tan had been better. I don't want to.
That's what I said. It could be that maybe I could be on the 3rd place.
Yep.
But the color will be better.
Oh well. It's done. It's done.
And annoying. It's done. Like you said, yeah.
Yeah, it's just done. It's in the past. You got to focus on Prague now. So, like I said, we're flying out on Friday. And we've pretty much on the forums, on the muscular development forums, in the chat rooms and stuff, we are basically kind of pinning this show as Enrico Hoffman versus Krizo. I really do think it will come down to you two. I think you two are going to be the first call. And I don't think that Krizo should underestimate you, because we haven't seen him on a pro stage yet. We've seen you. And like I said, I was super impressed with what you brought to France. So I think you're the guy to keep an eye on. I think you're the one that could upset all the Krizo fans.
I hope.
Yeah.
It will be a great honor.
Oh.
Because my biggest wish is to step on the Olympia stage anytime. So, but I'm not saying, okay, I will be Mr. Olympia in a few years, because to be honest, as a German guy with not a big lobby and not a sponsor who sponsors the Olympia, I think you cannot be Mr. Olympia. So that's maybe more for the American guys. So, but it's not bad for me. For me, I have not now the end goal. I have like a stair, you know, some steps, some stages between the stairs.
That's smart.
So my first stage for this year was to coming on the Olympia, maybe to get a placement. I hope in the top 10. I don't know, maybe a 10th place, because when you're in the top 10, you are one of the best guys in the world.
Yes.
So and for the future, it's not about this year, but for the future, I said the biggest dream is to be anywhere, a top 6 placement, because Ronnie Rockel from Germany.
I was just about to say that. I was just about to say Ronnie Rockel. He was a top 6 placer, you know, and he did fantastic.
I will be on the level with Ronnie.
Yeah.
And then we will see in a few years. Don't know. Really cool.
One thing though, if you get the win in Prague and you go to the Olympia, you're going to have to wear a T-shirt saying "I am not Branch Warren."
I read this so often. That's a bit funny. Because I look a little bit like because of the beard.
The physique, mate. The physique, the upper body.
Yeah, I hear this so often.
Yeah.
Normally, it must be my nickname. So, but I had the nickname the Phoenix because it's about my past. It was every time. No one's fought on me. Is thought the correct word?
What are you trying to say?
No one trusted in me.
Okay, no one believed in you.
Yeah, believe. Correct.
Yeah,
Thank you for the correction. Yeah, no one believed in me that I can go up. And every time when I come back, I was making more noise. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I was in my amateur times. It was I begin with the amateur shows like East German Championship. I had the second place. Then it was on the Bavarian Championship, second place. Then it was my first German Championship. I was out of the. I was completely out.
Okay.
I was disqualified because I was not showing me so good in the post down.
Mm-hmm.
So I was completely out.
Oh wow!
So and the next time when I come back on the German Championship, I think I had a third place or a second place. I don't know yet. And the first try, I get a win on the German Championship.
Wow!
So and I every time that is what I mean. I every time come back and stand up and fight. So, and it was not mine that we give this name the Phoenix. It was a friend of mine, Leo Pippinger. It was the guy from Proton. It was a friend of me.
Okay.
And he said, the Phoenix is a good name for you.
Yeah.
So, cause you every time stand up and fight, and no one was believing in you. And yeah, I think it's perfect for me. So I decided to say, okay, I can take this name, but
Yeah.
I'm not the guy that is so loud and make talk too much, cause talk is cheap.
Yeah.
So I do my work and then bam, that's my motto.
How old are you, Enrico?
I'm 33.
33. So you're a really good position. This is a good time for you to make waves. This is a good time in your career where you can really have a good 5-10 year career now and make it consistent improvements, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, we will see. Also, we saw on the Tsunami Pro, maybe for next year we can try to gain some more muscles, especially in the hamstrings and the outer quads. Because I'm fighting for the outer quads since the last 2 years that we be rounder, but don't know. It's not working so good. My adductors is exploding, and yeah. But the outer quads will not come that much.
It will.
So, yeah. But we will try to make maybe 8 to 10 kilos for the next year, and then come back heavier like this year.
I actually do think you've got one of the best backs in the Pro League today.
Sorry, can you repeat?
Your back, I think, is one of the best in the world right now.
Okay, I don't know. I don't see me next to other athletes.
Seriously.
But when you say this, it's thank you.
Because you get guys like Ramy that are wide, but they don't have a lot of thickness. You've got width, thickness, and like separation, like the detail in your traps. And when you were doing like some of in your posing routine, like the fibers, it was very Branch Warren. Like it was like an anatomy chart. It was crazy. And I was like, he's thick, he's wide. Your lower lats were bulging out the top of your glutes. I was just like, wow. Because thing is, they say that shows are won from the back. So I think if it's close between you and Krizo, mate, I think you just gotta destroy him on those back shots because that's his weak area.
Thank you. Yeah, but I think not only on Krizo, I think it's also other good athletes like Pavel Beran. I saw.
Yes, he's very good. There. Very good. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not only about Krizo and me. I think it's a lot of other good athletes. So
Milan Sadek.
We will see. Milan Sadek.
Yeah,
Milan
very
Sadek
good.
is
very good.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have the list yet. Which competitors all in Prague. So maybe when the point standing list is out before the show, you can think about and discuss about what can be possible with the placement, because it's also about the condition on the day day X.
Of course.
Yeah.
Have you thought beyond Prague? Have you thought about the 2 Spain shows, Romania? What's your thoughts?
For this year, the shows?
Yeah. Are you just doing anything after Prague or nothing planned yet?
I said the flights are booked.
Who for? Which one?
Both.
Hang on. Which shows?
Spain after Prague.
Awesome.
And Romania after Prague, after Spain.
We'll see Romania. We're doing we're in Romania as well.
Yeah, I'm to be honest, when I don't get the qualification on one of these 4 shows this year.
Yeah.
Then I said, okay, then it should not be this year, and then it should. Then it's not the time this year to go on Olympia. Then it's time to say, okay, it was a good year.
Yeah.
Now we improve for the next year, and then we come back. So if I get the qualification in Prague, doesn't matter. I go to Romania and Spain, only also to show me.
Yeah.
To show me on stage and to stay in condition. Because when I don't do these 2 shows, you have 6 weeks to the Olympia, I think, and that's a long time that you are not so on focus. I think, like when you come from Romania and you have these 4 weeks.
Yeah. You know the second Spain show, the one at the end of November.
Yeah.
That is a qualifier for next year's Olympia.
I know. Yeah. But the problem is a bit, I must take a look, because my employer, of my employer. Okay. The reason is we open on the 19th of November the first UFC gym in Germany. I think you know UFC gym. It's a big project.
Okay.
And it will be the first here in Germany in Hamburg. So, and we opened the gym on the 19th of November. So that's a lot of to-dos, and I am the maintenance guy for 20 hours and the other 20 hours as a personal trainer on the state, on the area. So that's also the reason that that's really hard for me the next weeks.
Yeah.
I come back from Prague on Sunday next week. On Monday I have free. On the Tuesday, it's the 1st of November. I begin full time to work. To prepare, we get machines. We must take a look and manage where we must stand the machines and this and that. So, and when I come back from Spain, it's Monday. I'm here at 2:30 p.m. So I must go home directly after the flight, change my clothes, go to work. So that's 1 week. On Friday again up to Romania, and then come back on Monday. Same shit. We have the certification week from with Donny from UFC in America. He come to Germany to give us a certification that we are allowed to be a personal trainer for the UFC.
Okay.
So, also that means completely 3 weeks full, no break, no weekend.
Enrico, to be honest, even with what you did in France, you've made a statement. People now see you, they know who you are, they know how good you are, and yes. I think even beyond Prague, even say you shut it down after Prague, people would still be aware of who you are for next year, because I think, you've just come into the Open. If you don't get to the Olympia this year and you don't say get a win or whatever, then you've got time. Do you know what I mean? And I think everyone's kind of behind you now in terms of what you can achieve.
I don't understand this so good. I have a little bit understand what you said, but not.
Okay.
But
basically, I'm saying you don't have to do loads of shows. You don't have to do so many shows to let people know who you are. Okay. You don't. I think Prague and Spain, Romania. I think you don't need to kind of. There's no benefit to doing every single show.
But to be honest, it's also like a job for me. I do it not only to show me. I do it also to get a little bit of money.
Right.
It's also a thing, because I have a family now. I have to feed them. Yeah. It's not about only my job and my sponsors. Okay. And but what you said with the show in end of November, it was also a topic. What I thought about. I don't know yet. Maybe when we said we had not the qualification this year with the first 4 shows till the break from 22 qualification to 23 qualification. We can do this show maybe. We don't know. We will see how I'm on how fit I am, how my mind.
See how you feel, mate. See how you feel. Because like I said, there's no rush. There's no rush.
But it's a good idea, because I think the most guys that are qualified for the Olympia will not come to this show.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because we want to focus and concentrate on the Olympia this year.
True.
So that will be a good a good possibility.
Yeah. Yeah.
A good possibility to do this show and maybe to win this show.
Yes. Honestly, I'm pretty much, I'm doing the preview for the Prague show where we myself and Ron Harris, we talk about the names who are in Prague and we talk about who's going. And I do think I do see it as being Enrico versus Krizo. I really do. And as I said, there's a lot of other good guys like Milan Shadek, Pavel Baran, Jan Turek, the new pro from Prague, from Czech, So I think it's going to be good, mate. So we fly in on Friday, and I'll be sat at the front with my headphones on, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you come out, mate. Because that's why I wanted to get you on now, because I wanted to, because I think I've got a feeling it's going to be. I think it's going to go down to the wire between you two next week.
Okay, I hope. I hope.
Enrico, I'm going to have to let you go, mate, but thank you so much for coming to MD Global Muscle. I'm glad we got this done. Thank you for the conversation, and I'll see you in Prague in 6 days.
Yeah, and I thank you for the invitation.
My pleasure.
And it's, like I said in the beginning, it's an honor for me. Thank you again. And yeah, I'm happy to see you next week.
Yep.
And yeah.
Final call out. Enrico Hoffman, Michael Krizonek in the center, please. Just you two. And then when he turns to the back, he's probably going to be quite shy about hitting that back shot because, I think you're going to shock everyone, mate.
I hope. I will do my best.
All right, then, Rico, enjoy the rest of your day. And like I said, I'll see you next week.
See you next week. Thank you for watching and hearing the interview.
Thank you so much, Enrico.
Okay.
Okay, guys, it is hot news time for season 5, episode 9 of MD Globe Muscle. Bloody hell, 9 weeks in. 9 episodes in for Globe Muscle. God, feel good. I'm glad to be back. Like I said, it's season 5. I think it's going well. And we really went for it this episode and even did some for next episode because obviously myself and Lauren Lady T. Lotta are going to be in Prague next weekend doing the live stream commentary. So I'm very excited about that. Are you excited?
I am so excited.
You so grasp it. Sounds a bit lame. Well, I am. So that's the main thing. So, so anyway, we're going to go straight into our first guest of this episode, Enrico Hoffman, who completely, really, really blew me away, actually, when I saw him compete in the Tsunami the other weekend. That was in Italy. I can't lose track of all the shows. Tsunami, Yamamoto, Italy, France, and all the different shows. But he took 4th place there. I'd have had no arguments if he'd have beat Mark Hector. And I'm a huge Mark Hector fan, as you know. I've had him on many, many times. He's a Brit as well, so not to be too patriotic. But so like I said, I did not see this guy come in. Enrico really, really impressed. Him and Alfred Kiriak, who we had on the last episode of MD Globe Muscle. And it's kind of like, we're so used to seeing people on Instagram and social media and being blown away or being really impressed anyway, at least. And then when you get on stage, you're like, yeah, they're good, but it's not, you know what I mean? But sometimes you see someone on Instagram and you're like, like I was with Enrico. And then when he came on stage at the Tsunami, I just couldn't believe. He's absolutely incredible. Very, very similar story to Alfred Kiriak, where he's come up for the 212. He made his pro debut this show at the Tsunami, took 4th place. No arguments if he'd been 3rd. And he's a guy really on the up now. 105 kilos. So what's that? 105 kilos. Well, anyway, it's 96 kilos if you're a 212. But he is now moving up to the open. And I think he's really arrived now. And I think, is he 32? 32, he said in the interview? Yeah, 32 years old, 33. I'm getting mixed up with Alfred Kiriak. And he is really, really gunning hard for the Prague show. And I'm telling you what, I don't think this is going to be an easy win for Krizo because I want to see Enrico Hoffman next to Michael Krizonek. Obviously the big, one of the biggest talking points of 2022. But I tell you what, do not sleep on Enrico because I'm telling you, I think, certainly from the back anyway, I think he's going to take Krizo from the back. But it'll be interesting because obviously we'll be there front row with our headsets on, So I'm really excited to see both of these guys. Well, I'm excited to see Krizo as he walks out because I want to see if all the hype is real. And I want to see what I think, because I'm excited to see this new guy who everyone's raving about. And I want to see that. I'd love to see that last call out if Enrico Hoffman is next to Krizo. Who do you think? Do you think he's that good? Do you think he could take Krizo? No?
I'd like to see them both.
Yeah. See, the thing is, that's the thing. That's kind of what's got me excited is actually the fact that until we see them next to each other. But like I said, I think people are gonna. I think a lot more. I mean, people are talking about him after Tsunami, but I think a lot more people are going to be talking him after Prague. This EVLS show. I've got a feeling he's going to be very, very well conditioned. I think he's one of those guys like Kiriak, and that's going to be just going to turn up very, very nailed. He's going to nail it at every single show. So anyway, let's have a look. See, he does kind of look Branch Warren, doesn't he? I mean, you. Hang on a minute. Why am I asking you? You asked Branch Warren who he was in Sweden. This is what Lauren did. Lauren, tell us. Come on. I'm throwing you under the bus now.
I said, hi, who are you?
So anyway, we're on the gas trip. We're doing the live stream commentary for the NPC Sweden run by Gasman Better Bodies. And of course, on the Iron World Tour, Branch Warren was there whilst that was I training? I was training. Anyway, it was like it was a gym thing and it was like a bit of a barbecue going on. Sorry? A meetup, yeah. And you went up and you went, oh, I'll just go and say hello to this guy. And you said, who are you? And he said, I'm Branch Warren. Is that what he said? Is that right?
And I was like, oh, cool.
And he's thinking, does Giles not brief these women? I mean, come on. So, yeah, like the biggest name there. And you're like, hi, I'm Lauren. Who are you? But anyway, Enrico, I mean, if you squint now, Lauren, squint. If you saw him in the gym, would you go up to him and say, hi, Branch, nice to see you again after seeing you in Sweden? Would you?
They look very alike.
Well, you need,
They
if you,
do look alike, yeah.
they do look alike. So, I mean, I would actually don't do that in Prague. Lauren, please.
Enrico could be
Lauren,
a body double.
do it as a joke.
No.
Do it as a joke and I'll film it and I'll send it to Branch, please.
Okay.
Ah, Branch, nice to see you again. I haven't seen you, what, 7 months since Sweden?
Oh, it was so embarrassing.
Anyway, back to the awesome Enrico Hoffman. I mean, he's just awesome, and look at that. Very, very impressive. And he's, like I said, he's a good age. He's got, I mean, look at the back. I mean, it's not just big, it's not wide, it's thick, it's separated. Has he got the dodgy shoulders going on though? No, he's got. Look. I want to see him flex. I want to see if the fibers are twitching. I'm gonna address this later on in Hot News. You'll see why I'm bringing this up, because I am trying to bring stripy shoulders back. This is the one thing, like, you know, when everyone was 20 years ago, a lot of fans were complaining about the stomachs and the guts. 20 years ago in the industry, this is something I really, really want to bring back. I want to stop guys shooting their shoulders, because to me, it's kind of like, for me, it's as bad, if not worse, than the stomachs were. Something actually the pros did end up addressing, you know, with the corsets or waist trainers and vacuums, you know, and thankfully it's something you don't see too often nowadays, because the judges do mark down for it now. And I'm hoping they start penalising guys for these shoulders, because it's really pissing me off actually. And it is, for me, it's I think a lot of good physiques, and like I said, I'll come to it. I'm sure you can guess, some of you guys, what I'm aiming at here. But let's have a look at more at Enrico. Look at that, he's awesome, isn't he? His legs are good, but like he said, he feels he needs more sweep. And I tell you what, when he gets more sweep and a little bit more size again, I think he's going to be a real force. And I tell you what, there's so many great pros coming out of Europe right now. I mean, you've got all the Brits. You've got the Mark Hector. You've got Samson. You've got James Hollinshead, Jamie the Giant. Who else? Was tons of them. And also, you know, like guys like Vlad Surochko from Ukraine. You know, we have like Alfred Kiriak. We have Enrico. So many. Theo. I mean, Theo's going to be at the Olympia this year. He's still at the... I'm sure I saw that he's dropped to third in the points. I'm sure I saw that earlier today. I mean, because he did so many shows earlier in the season. I really want to see Theo his posing routines. Didn't he say he makes them up? He makes them up. I mean, come on. Thing is, if you can do posing routines that good and you're making them up, then why not? I think is, I suppose, like Cedric used to do that. Cedric McMillan. He said he used to make them up on the spot. He put the music on and he just kind of like feel the music. But anyway, back to Enrico again. I've got a good feeling about this guy. You know, like Alfred Kiriak, I just think he's arrived now. Oh, there he is. It's 3 months. Look at that, babe. No, I'm going to get off. He's going to get clucky. Do you know what clucky means? You means babe. Yeah, okay. We'll talk about it later. I need to get some practice in. So, anyway, back to Enrico. So this is what I was talking about in the interview. And I said, Enrico, this is the photo from 2017 in the 212 when you did Prague, the EVLS show. Like that, that doesn't even look like the same guy, does it? He ate himself. But like, I mean, that's, you know, like he said about the photos of Krizo from 2017 to 2022. You can tell it's the same guy. He's just quite a decent amount size bigger. But Enrico doesn't even look recognizable here. Look at that. Wow. Yeah, a little bit more. He needs a little bit more going on the legs. You know, from the front, side and the back, I think they look great. But that is Branch Warren. That's Branch Warren's twin. I'm sorry. That's his European twin. I mean... His doppelganger. Yeah. Okay, we'll call it that. But I mean, look at the thickness and the dryness and just... I mean, his waist looks nice and tight there. So I'm really, really, really looking forward to seeing what Enrico's going to bring next weekend at Prague. Like I said, we'll be there, so I'm really, really, really looking forward to seeing this. And like I keep saying, Enrico next to Krizo is what I want to see. So yeah, so but he's on his way up. He's on his way up. So anyway, we looked. That's not a best photo. Really. It's not a bad one. It's kind of like a shitty phone picture in it. Really, it's not great. Not exciting. Why didn't they put the high quality pictures up? I want to see. Come on. But yeah. So anyway, like I said, this guy really caught my attention. Generally liked him as well when we were doing the live watch party thingy for MD the other week. Jen was like, she was like, wow, this guy is absolutely awesome. So this is where we will see him next weekend. This comes out on Wednesday. So 4 days later, he will be on stage on the 29th of October. And, you know, hopefully definitely in that first call out with Michael Krizo. So I'm making a very, very bold prediction there, guys. So yeah, so anyway, great interview. Really nice to kind of learn more about this exciting new talent. Oh, and he goes his Harley, look. Said about his Harley. You're not interested in motorbikes, are you? Do you like motorbikes?
No.
You're not a biker chick?
No.
So if I had a midlife crisis, even though I'm probably a little bit past midlife, and I got a tattoo and a Harley, you would not be into that. Hang on a minute. Where's Lauren? A question. Where's the saddle? That's going to be painful to sit on. My God, that's going to be very painful, especially if you hit a gravelly road or something, a bumpy road. That's going to be painful. Not going to lie. Oh, that's not the seat. That's the tank. What are you talking about?
That's the seat.
I don't think he's put the seat on yet. And is that one of those electric bike things that they give you like 30% of the power? My hairdresser's got one of those.
Really asking the wrong person.
But my hairdresser said he's got one of the electric bikes, and he said it gives you like 20 to 30% of the power. And he said he can do like 30-mile bike rides, and he said they're really it's a lot easier. And he says so anyway. But I'd rather do it on a Harley. You don't have to pedal at all then. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, kind of cool. Be careful, the motorbike's very dangerous, as you know. Lost one of my best friends from a bike accident many years ago. Yeah, and he was so big and so heavy when he hit the ground, it was like a crater hitting the ground. Because he was a big dude, you know. He was really bench 4 plates, you know, my mate James. And I had to carry his coffin actually. God, he was heavy. I was actually cursing him as we were putting the coffin into the hearse, bless him. But yeah. Anyway, right. Okay, we're going to go to our next guest of this episode, the incredible Small But Mighty, Sara Bradley. She's a very, very new IFBB pro. Turned pro last year here in the UK and made a pro debut at the Legion Sport, as you heard in the interview, and took an incredible second place, chasing the competition, making a pro debut all the way over in the west coast of America in Reno, Nevada. And I mean, that's incredible. Like I said, very much like Dorian Yates, he did the same. He did second at the 1990 Night of Champions. And, you know, like I said, I like it when people chase the competition. I did it as a novice. I did every single federation because I knew the next step up for me would be like competing against Zach Khan. So I thought, well, I'll tell you what, I think I pretty much know my limitations here. So I'll just try. I did the Mr. Scotland, the Mr. Wales. I did about 7-8 shows as a novice because I knew obviously once that season was done, I'd be done as a bodybuilder, which I was. Yeah. So this is how Sara looked at the Legion Sport. She looks absolutely incredible. Yet do you know what she said? I was surprised when she said that. My condition was only about 85%. That is actually her at 85% condition because her conditioning when she turned pro was a lot sharper than that. But I mean, a riddable bicep. I mean, that's one of the best riddable biceps I think I've seen for a while. You know, I mean, look at the shape, everything. No, look at that. I mean, the shape is really, really impressive, but I can see what she means about the condition now. Because normally, you know, when the athletes say, oh, it was only 85%, you're like, come on, you're absolutely amazing, incredible, shredded. But I have seen her sharper than this. So that's second in her pro debut at 85%. Sorry, you're going to say something?
No, it's beautiful.
She's good, isn't she? She's really good. And I actually wanted to get a little bit more into the conversation about, because she said she was bullied a lot and like mental health and... Yeah, that's something I wanted to delve more, but I think the conversation, the interview went as it went, and it was great. But like everything's in proportion, nice flow, nice balance. So be interested. What show did she say she's doing next year? Did she decided yet?
She said that she wants to do another one in Texas.
Texas, that's right. Texas and yeah.
Maybe a European one. But
Yeah. So anyway, Sara has arrived, and don't forget, this lady is only 25 years old. I mean, I've been following her since 2018 when she was like 21, and she was, you know, she really caught my attention because I thought, my God, because, you know, she's the right size, she's got the right proportions for women's physique, and I do believe women's physique is better for shorter women. You don't see too many good, tall women's physique competitors. Sorry? Well, small but mighty, clues in the name. She's not going to be 6 foot as she says small but mighty. But yeah, so a fantastic pro debut there for Sarah. And it was a really good interview as well. I knew she'd be a great interview because we interacted a little bit on social media over the last few years, and I watch her videos as well. And she's very articulate. She speaks very well. She speaks very, very truthfully, and I think she carries herself really, really well. Yeah, what a pro debut! Second out of 21 in a foreign country. And, with no real publicity or promotion, no one really knew who she was before she did the Legion. So that's a real big achievement. And the thing is, she's only one step away from winning. Yeah. If she'd have won that, she'd now be going to the Olympia in her second pro show at 25 years old. So keep an eye out on Sarah, because I do believe with her mindset and what I know of her so far in the last few years, I think she's someone that has the potential to go right to the top. I think she could be an Olympia champion one day. I really do. I think she's that good. So, and if you check out her social media, Small But Mighty 20, she does a lot of talking as well, which is important. It's not just pictures of her or videos of her training. You get to hear a lot about her mindset. And for 25, she's very, very switched on. So, look at that. Yeah, she's awesome. Look at that. Wow. Look at that. Wow. See a condition there. It's absolutely shredded there. Yeah, so imagine that. Second place in that condition. If she'd have been in the condition she was when she turned pro, who knows, maybe she'd go, well, the show's over. She's done it. She's done well. So I'm really, really excited to see what Sarah brings for next year, because I think we will see her in the Olympia next year. I think she's that good, especially if she does more than one show. She could have carried on competing. She probably would have got a qualification. But this is when she turned pro. Hang on, this is it. There we go. Oh, it's too small. Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry, it's a picture, it's a cover picture. So I want to try and find a picture of when her condition was even better than when she took second at the... yeah, lovely proportions. There you go. She looks good. Yeah, she's really good. Really, really good. Trains like an absolute maniac as well. I saw a video of her squatting, I think it was Smith machine squatting 4 plates or 3 or 4 plates, and it was good form as well. But lovely, really nice balance. Very, very feminine. She's done a really good job, actually. And where was the video she posted? Yeah, like I said, if you watch some of her training stuff, she trains like really, really hard, very heavy, very consistent. I said she reminds me of Sean Clarida with the hood up and, lots of free weight movements and, but she's got her head switched on, and I think she's gonna go right to the top. I really do. And she had Natalia Coelho winning the Olympia this year. Yeah. So, I feel a bit sick. I mean, probably eating too quick. So anyway, yeah, so that's Sara Bradley. Sorry, I was thinking about somebody else then. Sara Bradley. So check her out, and like I said, keep an eye out for this lady because she is going places. Right, okay, going to go to Bodybuilders Without Borders. There was a reason why I brought this up. Oh yes, Francisco Barrios is 2 weeks out from the NPC European in Spain. I'm not going to Spain now. I've pulled out because I think two shows for me in 2 weekends, being away, traveling. It's too much, and it took it out of me. Hungary took it out of me. I was in Hungary last. It took me like 3 or 4 days to pull myself around because obviously it was my first trip since Ireland. So anyway, so Francisco, I couldn't believe the improvements Francisco has made with Coach Patrick Tour. You remember when he turned pro? Yeah. And he's obviously going to be doing the 212, but he's really added a lot of size and thickness here. So he's from Argentina. And great kid as well. Had dinner with him and Ron Harris and Steve Blettman and Patrick and Francisco at the Olympia back in, must have been 2019 at the Orleans. Nice kid, really nice kid. And he's only young as well. He's only in his 20s. But what he's achieved there in a year in terms of improvements to his physique is absolutely astonishing. So, yes, it'll be interesting to see how he does the 212 in his pro debut in Alicante at the NPC European. And, that's pretty much all I wanted to see on there. Let's see if there's anything else interesting. No, nothing really that I wanted to bring up in particular. What else is there? Who's that? Oh, Hurricane. That was last week, wasn't it? So anyway, so that was all I wanted to see on there. So we're going to go through Patrick Tour's Instagram. There's two things I want to see on this. Two things that made my eyes pop out on stalks, to be honest, was Michael de Bull's conditioning. I mean, look at that. I mean, that is what you call... I mean, he surely has to be in contention for the best conditioned athlete of 2022. This was Michael de Bull, who won the Classic at the Arnold UK. And the Dubai Pro is actually going on now, right now. I've got a little bit of footage on Milos's Instagram page, which I'm going to come to next. But I think Michael's probably one of the front runners to win that. So, yeah, absolutely incredible. And looking forward to seeing how he does at the Olympia in December. And also, I wanted to show Ian Valliere, because obviously Vancouver Pro winner earlier this year. I'd be interested. I see the next step up for Ian Valliere is to be top 6 at the Olympia. I'm not sure. I think he's still going to hold that maybe 6th to 8th position. But it looks like he's been making some serious improvements. I think they wanted to focus mostly on back for this year. But Ian Valliere is another, incredible bodybuilder who always brings his best to the Olympia, like William Bonnet when it really, really counts. So what do you think, Lauren? Looks good?
Massive arms.
Massive arms. Yeah, he's a beast. I mean, he's a freak. I mean, I remember, like I said, 2018 Olympia.
I really struggle with my biceps.
You struggle with your biceps. Well, speak to Ian. Maybe he'll give you some tips. Yeah, but bikini girls don't need big biceps, do they? You have nothing. You've got good shoulders, though. Training the other day, your back and shoulders look really good, and your traps, everything all separated, and I was quite jealous, actually. I was like, don't train next to me, you make me look bad. Yeah, I had my first leg session back yesterday since Ireland. Didn't drop dead, so that's another win. So that was literally the last thing I had to do, because I started back training, doing 3 days a week. I left chest training till week 3, and week 5 now I've started back training legs. So just gonna bump up the days to 4 or 5 days a week. I do my cardio every day because obviously I've got to stay healthy, and I want to be an absolute full tiger power for the Olympia, because Ron hasn't had me there for the last couple of years, and I want us to completely dominate and smash the Olympia coverage, because I'm just excited to be back working with Ron, working with MD, working with Steve and the rest of the team. So I can't wait. I mean, it's going to be an absolutely incredible Olympia, and Lauren's going to be there. Yay! You're all booked up now. Yeah. Oh, also, yes, this is a new suit, just in case you're wondering. It's actually not tailored, but it feels tailored. What are you doing? Biting your finger seductively, trying to distract me from my job. Yeah, or you're just biting your nails. Right. Okay. So anyway, yeah. So like I said, I don't want to. I think sometimes. Well, the thing is that sport, we all have people that we're like Krizo, and everyone's talking about Samson, everyone's talking about Andrew Jacked, and and then like last year it was all Nick Walker, Ian Valliere, and this, and it kind of goes in cycles. So you just kind of go with it. And the thing is, these guys are sort of in the trenches now. Sometimes they don't want all that attention. They just want to get on with it. Like you said, let the physiques do the talking, show up to the Olympia and destroy everyone. But Valliere is actually one of my favorites. There, I said it. He's one of my favorites, and he's also really cool to interview, and he pulls big views as well. So yeah, I'm getting out of breath now. Yes. So anyway, yeah, obviously we've got Patrick Tours prepping Keon Pearson, because I wrote a feature for the December issue of MD, and Keon was kind of part of that, so I can't give too much away. Yeah, Patrick saying that the condition that Keon is at now is almost as good as when he won the Tampa, and he feels that Keon could actually win the 212 Olympia this year. He feels that, and bear in mind, this is the guy that came 14th place last year at the Olympia, and hasn't really nailed the condition as a 212 yet. But Patrick assured me. He said, no, everything is going well. He's doing everything. We're seeing the changes, and he is on target. And he thinks he'll beat Kamal. He thinks it could come down to him and Sean Clarida for the 212 Olympia.
Yeah, I can see that.
You think that?
I do.
You do? Yeah, he is good. But he's got to bring the condition. If he doesn't bring the condition, he's going to be out of the top 5, even the top 10. Last year, we were talking about him being a potential winner, and he came 14th. So he was completely bombed out last year. So to say that he will be a threat to win the Olympia this year, Patrick has to know something that a lot of us don't. So, and I trust Patrick. So I'm really excited to see if Keon can really be a force at the Olympia, because it's kind of been pegged as a Clarida versus Kamal. You know, obviously that Derek Lunsford's now moved over to the Open. So I really want to see him in his best condition, and I would love to see him. I'd love to see him in the mix. I really do, because I think he's awesome. Because he's still way under the 212 limit, and he's so thick. You saw him in Sweden. He's huge. I mean, his back is like, his back's even more impressive from the front. So that's saying something. So like that frontal bicep, it almost looks too big. I mean, I've never said that about an athlete before, and the lat's too big from the front. But I mean, Keon is it's just they come out at like 50-degree angles. Absolutely incredible. So anyway, so that's all I wanted to see on Patrick Tour's account. Doing a great job, mate. It's nice to see Patrick, continually bringing the goods, and the wins. So what are we looking at? You keep giving me funny looks. You're trying to distract me, woman. Stop it. Right, and we will get Lauren's mic fixed very, very soon. Okay, I'm going to go to Milos's Instagram, because he is actually in Dubai right now. And he's at the Dubai Pro Classic. And this is the last call out of the top 4. So this has just gone up. So this is the Classic. There is Michael de Bull, who I just brought you up with the cheese grater ass. And is that, I recognize this guy as well. I don't have the names here. Yeah, so that is the apparent, looks like what will be the top 4 at the Dubai in the Classic. I wonder why he did this, though, because he's qualified for the Olympia. He wants an extra win, doesn't he? Because he's out in Dubai, isn't he? More win. Yeah. Yeah, you're big on that, aren't you? You like to see him competing more and more, even if they've qualified. Okay.
I think if you're getting into shape and you're peaking, and
Tell you what.
you're continuously peaking, each week you're looking better, go for it.
Yeah, I see that. Michael's dominated there.
Yeah.
Is that Zagarella? This guy? That's the guy from Italy who came second to, was it second or third to, no, he was to Wesley Vissers in France. That's Zagarella.
That's nice.
Looks like his legs are downsized a little bit. Is that Zagarella?
He has got such great feet.
He has feet. What are you talking about?
You have beautiful feet.
Beautiful feet. Oh my God. I'm with a foot fetishist. Right, okay. Edit. Cut. Anyway, yeah, so that was all I wanted to see on Milos. There's Rudy Panatta. You know the Panatta equipment?
Yes.
That is Rodolfo? Rudy Panatta. There's Dr. George. Look.
Oh, Dr. T.
Yeah, Dr. T. And that is Rudy Panatta, the guy that won. I've been to the Panatta factories in the hills of Italy, and I went to his office and spoke to him, and he was really cool. It was amazing, actually. And he showed me where they started. They started Panatta in like this shed, and he still kept it. And it's actually in the Italian hills, and they've got this, they've got like a village, and apparently half the village or all the village or whatever works for Panatta. And he's got this house on the top of this hill, and it's got a big wall. It's like a fortress. And he's got a bunker. He's got like a bunker with the gym. It's got like million whatever euro gym downstairs. And the house has got like a fortress of security because of the mafia.
Nice.
Yeah, no, it's just because he could get kidnapped. He's a wealthy guy, because he's a big target. Yeah. Anyway, so this was many. Sorry, what? Yeah, no, it's cool. No, it's true, because he's it's just he's a target, isn't he, and his family. So he's built this. The house isn't that big, but it's all the security and everything, and it's been purpose built, and it's right on the top of this mountain, so he can see everything. So anyway, there we are. Awesome picture. That was the '99 British Grand Prix. What a lineup. Anyway, I'm going to get distracted by that. Right, okay then. Probably not going to pick up a few fans because of this, but this is something I want to address, because I meant to address it the last couple of episodes, but chickened out. So I'm bringing it up now. This is the Olympia, obviously, Instagram page, 4.1 million followers. And this was the video of Hadi Choopan last year. Now, I have brought this up last year, but they've reposted it, and it's kind of triggered me again. I've got to be honest with you, Lauren. Okay. It's triggered me. And not many things trigger me. Bullshit. Yeah, look at this. Okay, Lauren, what are you seeing now? What are you seeing? What stands out to you as not, hang on. Look, is there anything you've spotted?
Yeah.
What?
Left shoulder.
Yeah. Oh, see, look, there. Yeah. Now, does that look good?
No.
What about that one there?
It looks like it's infected.
It looks like it's infected, yeah. Exactly.
You know when you get
Exactly.
stung by a bee and then
Stung by a bee.
gets,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it gets pushed up.
Yes,
the
it looks like he's been stung by a bee on equal sides on both of his shoulders. Now, this is something I've been addressing quite a few times, but I've seems to be falling on deaf ears, I'll be honest. But then again, so were the guts when they, about 20 years ago or so, the media or whatever, fans were starting to bring up that the bodybuilders, because they were getting bigger and bigger and bigger, were getting distended stomachs. It took a few years for the judges to really address this and really start marking them down, penalizing them. But now the new thing is the shoulders. And for me, it looks appalling because I love Hadi. I think he's absolutely incredible. But that is really bad. I think that needs to be addressed. It needs to be addressed by either the Pro League or the judges with how they mark, and they need to say, look, give feedback and say, look, we marked you down. We took you down from 3rd to 6th or whatever because of your shoulders. But Hadi is not the only one. And I'm going to come to that right now. So, yeah, I mean, that's that. I saw that video and it really, really got me angry again. So, but also, okay, now I can't believe so many fans and people looking at these videos are not addressing it. For me, it's glaring. I've even spoke to Chad Nichols about it. I mean, look at, okay, what do you see, Lauren? Look, what do you see? Look at the shoulders. Look at the shoulders. Do they look right? I mean, just look at them. Look at them closely, guys. Watch this video a few times. See, look, my eyes aren't even drawn to his back now or his traps. It's his shoulders because they just look unnaturally full. And I don't understand why he keeps doing this because he's the numero uno. And if the judges say, okay, they're making a decision, anyone with swollen shoulders, we've got to mark them down severely. What if it's close between him and Brandon Curry or Nick Walker or, Samson or any of these guys, and they knock him down to a place or 2 or 3 places, or he loses a couple of points and he loses the Olympia title? I don't understand, because for me, without those shoulders, he's still good enough to win. He's still, look at it, look. Does that look right to you? Does that look? See, there's no striations. And also, where's the thickness in the lats as well? Because they look. Where's the lats? I don't understand. Look at that. Look. Come on. And the thing is, he's incredible. He doesn't need to do this. And I think it's such a rookie mistake. And I think it's such a reckless, careless thing to do. And for me, it spoils the entire picture. I mean, I don't understand why he can't just stick it in his glutes like everybody else. I mean, look, he's huge. He's wide. It's like, because obviously they put the stuff in the shoulders because they think it makes them look wider, brings end waist in. His waist looks nice and tight. I'm sure his legs look absolutely phenomenal. But for me, this is a problem. This is a problem, guys. And I'm starting to run out of steam, kind of bringing it up all the time. But yeah, for me, it's a big issue. Now, look at that. It just looks weird. It does. So anyway, Lauren, if you're planning on going to Egypt for a holiday with me, I think we should cancel it because we'll probably get lynched. We'll probably get, probably get run out of the country. But I've got to bring it up. Because for me, like I don't understand how so many, I think because it's become so commonplace now, and a lot of fans maybe don't have such a trained eye, I don't know, like myself or whatever, that maybe they're just overlooking it. And I don't understand why, because he would look better without all that crap in his shoulders. So he needs to just, it's not synth though, because there's no reason why he would put that in there. And also, the calves, obviously they jimmy the calves up, don't they? Some show day. I mean, his calves will look great on show day. But I mean, it looks great, but to me, it just spoils the picture. What's that? They jimmy them up. No, we not do it to your glutes. Yeah, okay, just keep training him, darling. Right, okay, then we're going to go to, and like I said, I love Rami. I think he's awesome, but I think it would benefit him if he wasn't doing that. That's my point. I'm not trying to hate on him or anything. Oh, God forbid. But I just think sorry? I don't like shooty shoulders. I like stripy shoulders. And I want to bring stripy shoulders back because it just looks so cool. You never saw that on Phil Heath or Sean Roden right, okay, then obviously I'm bringing up EVLS Prague again because myself and Lauren will be there next week providing the live stream commentary. So I hope you tune into that. Also, George Farrell's going to be there, so I'm looking forward to seeing George. What? You look at me funny again. You give me those funny looks agaking. Look at me, all doe-eyed. It's a new suit, isn't it? Yeah, I get that a lot. Right, okay then. There's George Farrell, Lucas Asladel, very, very good Czech bodybuilder as well. Lucas Asladel, have you ever seen? He's got the funny glutes or the flickery glutes. You ever seen him when he does the ass roll?
No,
You've never seen the ass roll?
An ass roll.
We saw him in Romania last year. He's in the suit. Remember outside?
I've had a sushi roll.
A sushi roll. No. It's a bit. Well, it's a bit more meat in it than the glute roll. So yeah. So anyway, it'd be nice to see George out there in Prague next weekend. And of course, I mean, it's the one thing I think the most biggest talking point around this event is, will Michael Krizo get the win and qualify for the Olympia? Because there's 3 stages to this year. He had to turn pro, which he's done outright. He has to win a pro show, and then he has to go in Olympia and stand next to the likes of Big Ramy and Hadi and Nick Walker and William Bonac and Brandon Curry and see how he stacks up, because there is a lot of expectation around Krizo and also expectation for him to do very, very well. But until he stands next to those big guys and the big names, we will not know. So this is exciting. I've got to be honest. Very exciting.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. Yeah, very excited. So anyway, like I said, I showed all this last week. Alison Testu doing the bikini, because I didn't bring that up last week. What else is there? Thomas Tabakia, very, very good. Steve Benthin, Enrico Hoffman, Pavel Baran, Jan Turek. So, and there are 6 pro classes this year. And I'm really, really looking forward to, because this is the 10th anniversary, and the last one I was at was actually the first one. I'm showing off now. Look at you pulling faces. Now you're pulling horrible faces at me. God, I can't win today. Right, okay, so that was it really. So we're flying out on Friday night. Yep, Friday night. And like I said, make sure you tune into the live stream so you can hear our voices. And hear our commentary. And like I said, I'll give my honest, unbiased opinion. I'll tell you exactly what I'm thinking and feeling when Krizo walks out. But I do think it's going to be Enrico versus Krizo. I think okay, you're getting tired now, so I'm getting tired and I'm hungry. Right, okay then. I hope you enjoyed this episode, guys. And also, do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And hope you enjoyed this episode. And we'll be back next week for more MD Glow Muscle. So, okay, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. And ladies and gentlemen, we are out.